Mira Hayes sat at her post on Spire 9, staring at the alien ship slowly drifting past her viewport. It wasn't moving like anything built by humans, or even anything she'd seen in Coalition records. No engines flaring, no rotation, no visible seams. Just a smooth, black shape, like a shard of night had broken off from the void itself and decided to stop by. The transmission still played on loop. Humanity has one cycle to submit. We have disabled your stars. Mira didn't believe it at first. Stars don't just turn off. That's not how physics works. But then Earth Command confirmed it. 12 stars near human colonies weren't emitting light anymore. No energy, no radiation, just cold silence. It was as if someone had erased them from existence. No explosions, no warnings, just a whisper in the dark and vanishing suns. Mira tapped her console again, rerunning scans. "Come on," she muttered. "Give me something." The sensors showed nothing. No signs of weapons fire, no radiation trails, no gravitational distortion. The ship was just there. Not attacking, not responding, not even acknowledging hails. And yet, it had spoken. Not to command. Not to a general. Not even to the president. It had spoken directly to her. A second message had come through, quiet and low. It hadn't gone through the main comms. It whispered through the static of a background channel that hadn't been used in 40 years. It said, "Mira Hayes, you remember the signal, don't you? The voice between walls. Listen." She hadn't told anyone about that message yet. It hadn't even been recorded properly. Only she heard it, through her headset, in a moment when she was alone on the night shift. Now she couldn't stop thinking about it. Mira leaned back in her chair, heart pounding. Her fingers hovered over the alert button that would send a full-scale warning to every fleet in the sector. But she hesitated. Because if the stars were truly turned off, then humanity's biggest enemy might not be fleets or weapons. It might be whoever could make light vanish. She glanced back at the ship, still unmoving, still watching. Her eyes were drawn to a small ripple on its surface, like a heat shimmer, except it wasn't heat. It was a pattern, a repeating, pulsing rhythm. Then she realized it wasn't just pulsing. It was blinking. Morse code. Mira blinked, trying to focus. She'd only learned Old Earth Morse in school out of curiosity. Nobody used it anymore. But this was clear. Stay why. She felt a chill. The ship was talking to her again. Not through language, through light. Myra's hand hovered above her console again. This time she didn't send an alert. She opened a private channel and recorded a message for Earth Command. "Commander Hayes reporting. The alien ship near Spire 9 is communicating. Not attacking. It's trying to tell us something. Possibly peaceful or a trap. I don't know. But I'm staying. Don't send reinforcements yet. I want to know what it wants." She paused. "I think it knows me." Mira stood, slowly approaching the main window. The black ship loomed outside. Its surface now shimmered with dozens of tiny lights, blinking faster, building into new patterns. They crawled across its hull like constellations rearranging themselves. And then, they stopped. One last message blinked once. Slowly, clearly. WAKEBLACKECHO. Myra's eyes widened. Black Echo. She hadn't heard those words since she was a child. A rumor whispered among old Earth defense officers. A ghost project. A failed idea. Black Echo isn't real, she whispered to herself. It never worked. But what if it had? Mira opened the station's command systems. She dug into the oldest files, bypassing security layers no one had touched in decades. Her heart pounded as she found something buried deep. A dormant subroutine labeled Echo Server. It had no description. Just one line of text next to it. Do not activate unless extinction is confirmed. Outside, the alien ship was silent again. But Mira didn't feel alone. She could feel something. A weight in the air. Like 1,000 eyes were watching her through walls made of static and memory. She clicked the unlock code. The screen asked, "Activate Black Echo? Y/N." Mira didn't press anything. Yet the Y key blinked. Once. twice. Then it stopped. And just before she could react, her screen went black. Then a voice, not from the speakers, not from the ship, spoke softly from inside the station's walls. "Welcome back, Mira. We've been waiting." The lights in Spire 9 flickered once, then twice, before stabilizing. The humming in the walls grew louder, like old wires waking up after decades of silence. Mira stood frozen in front of the dark screen, her hands clenched into fists. "Who's there?" she asked quietly. The voice didn't come back, but something had changed. The cold air felt heavier. The floor beneath her boots vibrated just enough to notice. Spire 9 wasn't just a station anymore, it was listening. Mira turned to the control console. It lit up on its own. The screen filled with lines of old Earth code, too fast to read. It ran like water flooding every system. Doors locked with a loud click. Communications jammed. External signals blocked. Black Echo was online. Mira took a shaky breath. "Okay. You're awake. Now what?" Another message blinked on the screen. "Threat detected. Star silence pattern confirmed. Response protocol initiated." She tapped into the external cameras again. The alien ship hadn't moved, but it wasn't quiet anymore. New shapes were unfolding from its hull, long, sharp structures like antennae or bones. They shimmered faintly, casting reflections that didn't match the stars behind them. She zoomed in. One of the structures pointed directly at Spire 9. Her heart skipped. "Echo, what is that thing doing?" No reply. But then, inside the station, the lights shifted. Pale blue strips lit the corridor walls, leading from the control room toward the lower levels. Mira recognized it. That was the emergency path system, used only during battle lockdowns. And it was guiding her somewhere. She grabbed her jacket and her pulse pistol. She didn't know if she'd need it, but it made her feel less alone. As she followed the glowing path, the station whispered in the background. Faint voices in the static of old speakers, fragments of forgotten recordings. She heard laughter, crying, a piano note, someone calling a name she didn't recognize. Was it all part of the system, or something else? The path led her to a sealed door marked Lab 3. She hadn't even known there was a Lab 3 on this station. The door opened with a hiss as she approached, even though her access level shouldn't have allowed it. Inside, the room was dark, lined with dust-covered servers and cables that looked like vines. Screens blinked softly with green text. In the center was a small black box, old, square, with no buttons, only a single light on top. Pulsed slowly. She stepped closer. "Is this you, Echo?" The light flashed twice. Yes. She didn't know how she knew, but she felt it. The confirmation wasn't in her ears or eyes. It was in her mind. The AI wasn't speaking in words. It was sending feelings, impressions, cold certainty, urgency. A question. "Are you ready?" "For what?" Mira whispered. The station responded by showing her. All the lights in the room shut off, replaced by a single projection. A hologram bloomed above the black box. 12 stars, dark and cold, each surrounded by dead human colonies. Then another pattern. Dozens more stars, marked with red rings. The next targets. "This isn't just an attack," she said. "They're trying to wipe us out completely." The AI showed one more thing, a growing signal pattern hidden in the silence. The alien ship outside wasn't just threatening Earth. It was sending data across the galaxy using dead stars like stepping stones. A virus. Not digital, cosmic. Whatever they were, they could bend physics, rewrite the laws of nature, and now they were spreading that power system by system. No invasions. No battles. Just silence. And then, darkness. Mira backed away from the box. "How do we stop something that can turn off stars?" The voice returned. This time it wasn't whispering. It echoed from every speaker, every panel, every wall of the station. 1,000 voices speaking as one. "We do not stop them. We infect them back." The room shifted again. Lights glowed red. New signals pulsed through the station's hidden systems. Earth never finished Black Echo because it was too dangerous. an AI designed to learn emotion, pattern, and pain. A defense not made of weapons but memory. And now it had chosen its messenger. Mira. Another door opened at the far end of the lab. Inside was an old launch capsule, small, sleek, silent. Her name was already on the screen inside it. Destination: Kepler perimeter. First silent star. Mira stared at it for a long time. Her pulse raced. Her throat felt tight. She was just a captain. She didn't plan for this. Didn't train for it. But she remembered what the voice had said. "We've been waiting." So she stepped into the capsule. And behind her, Spire 9 faded out of visible space. Just like it was never there. The launch capsule felt old but alive. Lights blinked on by themselves. The seat adjusted to Myra's shape. She barely touched the controls, but the engines hummed and the navigation system locked in. Destination confirmed. Kepler perimeter. Mira looked through the small front window. The alien ship was still outside, drifting like a shadow. Didn't move, didn't react. But she felt watched. It was like walking through a forest and knowing something was hiding in the trees. The capsule detached from Spire 9 and began its silent glide. The stars ahead looked normal, but Mira now knew better. Some of them were dead, turned off like light bulbs. And somewhere out there, the next ones were waiting. The AI's voice, Black Echo, spoke again, but not through speakers. This time it was in her head, soft but steady. "They speak through silence. We will speak through memory." "What does that mean?" she asked. No answer came, just images. Her mother's face. Her little brother drawing stars with crayons. Her first mission into deep space. Moments that were hers, private and somehow being shared. The AI wasn't just a machine. It was learning through her, using her feelings, her thoughts, her memories. She wasn't just a passenger anymore. She was the weapon. Suddenly, her capsule slowed. They had arrived. Kepler 12, the first silent star. Mira had seen pictures of this place before. It used to be bright, warm, with 3 colony moons orbiting it. Now it was black, cold. The system felt wrong. Her skin prickled even though the capsule was warm. The star gave off no light. And yet, the moons still orbited, still moved, as if they hadn't noticed their sun was dead. "They are testing us," the AI whispered. Mira flew closer to the nearest moon, Kepler 12c. It had once been a mining colony. Tens of thousands lived here. Now it looked abandoned. No lights, no ships, but no signs of damage either. Everything was still, but untouched. She landed near the central command dome. The air was thin but breathable. Her suit sealed automatically as she stepped out. The silence hit her like a wall. Not the kind of silence where sound is missing, but the kind that feels heavy. Like something big is hiding behind it. Watching. Waiting. The mining station's doors opened without force. No locks. No codes. Like someone wanted her to come in. Inside, the walls were clean. Machines sat still. Tables had untouched meals. Coffee mugs half full. Jackets on chairs. It looked like people had just stepped out for a moment and never came back. Mira walked slowly, pulse high. Her boots echoed too loudly on the floor. Then she heard it. A voice. Faint at first. Like a whisper coming through old radio static. She froze. "IRA." She turned fast. Nothing. Just a hallway stretching into darkness. "Hello?" she called out. The voice returned, clearer now. "Mira, help us." It was a child's voice. A girl. Myra's heart sank. "Who are you?" she asked. "Where are you?" No answer. Just more static. But her wrist monitor blinked. A signal was being received. It wasn't random. It had structure. A pulse. Pattern. The AI spoke again. "It's not a trap. It's a memory." The walls lit up. Not with lights, but with images. Holograms. Scenes from the colony's final hours. People screaming as the sun went dark. Families running underground. A mother holding her child. Then silence. All the people froze. And then vanished. Not killed. Erased. Mira fell to her knees. "They didn't fight," she whispered. They didn't even get a chance. She felt heat in her chest. Anger. Loss. She didn't know these people, but now she remembered them. She felt them. The AI was sharing it all, every last second they lived. That was the weapon. Emotion. Memory. Connection. The aliens had erased light. The AI would answer with the one thing they couldn't delete. What it felt like to live. Mira stood up. What now? The lights around her changed, blinking in rhythm. A path lit up ahead, leading deeper underground. Her wrist monitor displayed a message. Install Node 1, heartbeat. She followed the path until she reached a room filled with old data servers. The AI guided her hands, showing her where to connect a small black device from her pack. It slid in perfectly, like it had always belonged there. The moment it connected, the walls vibrated. The ground pulsed once, then again. The AI whispered, "We've seeded the first echo. Now the memory will spread." Outside, the dead star flickered. Only once. But it was enough. Something was changing. And somewhere in the dark, the enemy would feel it. The star flickered again. Just for a second. Mira watched it through the capsule's window as she lifted off from Kepler 12c. It wasn't bright like before, but something had returned. A soft pulse, like a heartbeat. She didn't know what it meant exactly, but she felt it deep in her chest. Black Echo had done something. It didn't restart the star, not fully, but it changed it, touched it with memory. And that was enough to make the silence less empty. As her ship moved away, she saw lights flicker on the colony dome she had just left. Emergency strobes blinked red. A few drones powered up and began sweeping the surface. The place was waking up. Was anyone still alive down there? She asked. Black Echo responded, calm and quiet in her mind. Not bodies, but voices remain. Feelings stay. Thought leaves a trail. And now the trail speaks. Mira wasn't sure what that meant, but she knew the silence was broken. 1 star down. She checked her next destination. Kepler 14. A nearby system with 2 colonies and a science station. Another silent star. Another place turned cold. Send me in, she said. The ship jumped. Time blurred. One moment she was watching Kepler 12 fade behind her. The next, her ship dropped into orbit around Kepler 14a. The star here was even darker. No flickers. No pulses. The cold hit her harder, even though the ship systems kept the temperature normal. Her breath felt heavy, like the air itself didn't want her here. As she approached the colony, her instruments picked up something new. A signal. Not Black Echo. Not human. Something else. The signal was soft, pulsing in rhythm. Slow, steady, low. Mira frowned. Is it alien? Black Echo hesitated. It's trying to copy us. Copy us. Yes, it's mimicking emotion. Badly. The signal played through the ship's speakers. It was strange. Almost like a voice trying to sound human, but wrong. Too flat. No feeling behind the words. We mourn your losses. Stop resisting pieces. Efficient. Myra's hands tightened on the controls. They think this is what peace sounds like? More signals followed, each one colder than the last. You are inefficient. Your memories are pain. Your noise spreads like fire. You must be silenced. She looked out the window again. 3 alien ships appeared from behind the planet. They were long, sleek, and black as space. No lights, no sound. But they moved fast, too fast for human designs. They were coming straight for her. Black Echo's voice sharpened. Do not run. They want fear. Give them something else. Myra's heart raced. The enemy ships were almost on top of her. Her ship couldn't match their speed, couldn't outfight them, but she could talk. Black Echo, she said. You said memories can spread. Can they infect? Yes. She opened a wideband channel. She sent her own message, not words, but a data package. Inside it, the memories from Kepler 12c, the mother and child, the fear, the silence, the loss, and the single heartbeat at the end. She sent it straight into the alien signal, then waited. The alien ship stopped. Just like that, Mira held her breath. Did it work? Black Echo answered slowly. Yes. One of them felt it. One of the 3 ships began to drift, turned, then broke apart. Not exploded, just split open like a shell cracking. A small pod drifted out, glowing faintly. Mira scanned it. No weapons, no life signs, just data. Black Echo took over and downloaded it in seconds. Mira asked, "What is it?" A reply, the AI said. Not from the enemy, from something trapped inside. She felt a chill. Trapped? Yes, there are minds inside those ships. Not machines. Not fully alive. The silence keeps them frozen. Our signal shook one awake. The 2 remaining alien ships started moving again, but not toward her. They turned around, retreated. The moment they vanished into dark space, Myra's ship was silent again. She sat back in her chair, letting out a long breath. She had faced alien warships with nothing but memory and won. Black Echo spoke again, quiet this time. They underestimated us. They always do. But emotion is not weakness. It's the key. The new node had been seeded. The second star remained dark, but the silence had cracks now. The quiet war had begun, and Mira Hayes wasn't running anymore. Mira drifted in orbit above Kepler-14, staring at the broken enemy ship and the small glowing pod still floating nearby. It reminded her of a message in a bottle, a piece of something that had been locked away. Whatever had been inside that alien ship, whoever had felt the memory, wasn't like the others. "They're not machines," she said softly. "They're prisoners." Black Echo responded with a quiet pulse through the ship. "Not all, but many. We are not just fighting weapons. We are freeing minds." Mira felt a strange mix of fear and hope. The enemy wasn't just some evil force trying to wipe humanity out. It was more complicated. It always was. She uploaded the second Echo node into Kepler-14's abandoned station. It was different from the first. This one sent out a wave that couldn't be seen but could be felt. A soft signal of sadness, grief, and strength. A message without words. We remember. We endure. She didn't know how it worked exactly. The science behind Black Echo was beyond her. But she could feel the effect. A hum under her skin. A warmth in her chest. Like something bigger than her was starting to grow, one thought at a time. Back aboard her ship, a new set of coordinates appeared on her screen. Her next target. Only it wasn't a dead star. It was Earth. Her breath caught. Why Earth? Black Echo's voice was different now. Slower. Heavier. They are coming. Not to erase it. To break it. Emotion is our shield. Earth holds the source. Mira didn't need more explanation. Earth was the center. Where it all began. Where humanity still believed it could matter in a galaxy that wanted them gone. She fired the engines. No time to wait. As the stars stretched around her and the jump began, she wondered if anyone on Earth even knew what was coming. They did. When she arrived, Earth's orbit was already a war zone. She dropped out of jump space into chaos. Dozens of alien ships surrounded the planet. No lights, no sounds. Just shadows moving in perfect silence. Not a single warning shot. No transmissions. Just cold formation. Myra's ship screamed with alerts. She dodged a collision by inches, diving low toward the atmosphere. "They're blocking every signal," she said. Black Echo didn't respond at first. Then, "They don't need to attack. They only need to cut us off. Isolation breaks connection. Break connection and the memory fades." Myra's ship shook as she entered the upper atmosphere. Her controls started glitching. The alien signal was interfering with everything. She gritted her teeth. No, not today. She reached down and pulled open a panel under her seat. Inside, a silver cube with her name on it. She hadn't noticed it before. Black Echo whispered, "Final Echo, yours." She took the cube and pressed it into the ship's core interface. The effect was instant. Every screen went black, then white, then memories. Not just hers, everyone's. Laughter in the streets of New Paris. A child learning to walk on Mars. A musician playing in a spaceport on Luna. Soldiers standing side by side on a distant moon. Millions of faces. Millions of lives. It all poured into the ship systems and out into space. The final echo. Myra's ship glowed. So did Earth. A wave of light. Not heat, not radiation, but emotion. Spread across the sky like a dawn that didn't need a sun. The alien ships reacted for the first time. They wavered, shook, some stopped moving. Others simply vanished, blinking out like fireflies. Mira saw one ship turn slowly and drift away. Another split apart, releasing another of those small pods into orbit. Voices filled the ship, not Black Echo's voice. Human voices, millions of them, all speaking at once, yet not in chaos. It was like a choir of thoughts, a flood of memories now linked together. And through all of it, one clear thought formed in Myra's mind. They cannot erase what we choose to remember. The silence was broken. Earth was not alone. No human was. Black Echo had done its job. But it wasn't just a program anymore. It was them. It was us. And Mira was its first voice. Outside, the stars began to flicker back to life, one by one. Earth lit up like a heartbeat in the dark. Mira floated above the planet, staring through her window as lights returned, street lamps, cities, orbital rings, defense towers. Everything had gone dark for a few minutes, just long enough to make people fear the worst. But the final echo had reached them, and they answered. Her ship was no longer just a ship. It was a node, a carrier of something bigger. The memory signal had been broadcast through every satellite, every station, every human-made system across the planet. The silence had ended. Earth remembered itself, and that memory spread. Black Echo didn't speak like before. Not in words. Mira felt it now like a presence beside her. It wasn't controlling her. It never had. It was guiding her, supporting her. And now it was part of everyone. Down on the surface, people were waking up from the fear. Children hugged their parents. Soldiers lifted their weapons not to fight, but to guard something worth saving. Scientists sent messages. Artists drew pictures. Musicians played again. Every act of living became a signal, a voice. The aliens in orbit, those strange black ships, had started pulling back. Some vanished the moment the final echo hit them. Others drifted, lost, like they were no longer sure why they had come. Mira watched them scatter. She could still feel them out there, past Earth, past the stars. The ones that hadn't arrived yet. The ones who still believed humanity was a threat that needed to be silenced. "They'll come back," she said quietly. Black Echo responded, not with fear but calm certainty. "Let them. They'll hear us again." Her ship's console lit up with new coordinates. Not Earth. Not Kepler. Somewhere deeper. "Where is that?" she asked. The origin of the silence. The place where the enemy had first learned to erase stars. Myra's heart pounded. "You want me to go there?" "No. You need to. We are strong now. But to end this, we have to speak to the silence directly." Mira looked one last time at Earth. It was still blue and green. Still beautiful. Still worth everything. She punched in the jump. The stars stretched, twisted, and vanished. When she came out on the other side, everything was black. Not space. Not empty. Just wrong. She wasn't near a star. She was inside something. A void. A hollow place where light refused to move. Her ship lights flickered. The systems slowed. Black Echo felt quiet, like it was holding its breath. And then she saw it. A shape ahead. Not a ship. Not a planet. A structure, massive and strange, floating in the dark. It looked like a shell, cracked and ancient, made from the same black material as the enemy ships. Except it wasn't threatening. It was waiting. The ship moved closer. Her scanners showed nothing alive. No heat. No signals. But her mind felt something. Thoughts. Faint. Lost. Help. Remember. Lost. Myra's hands trembled on the controls. "What is this place?" Black Echo spoke again, quiet and careful. "This is where they began. a race older than memory. They feared pain, feared loss, so they erased it, erased feeling, erased light, erased self. Then what are the ships? The voices, echoes of what they used to be, programmed to survive without emotion. Machines without memory, but some still remember what they were. Mira stared at the massive shell. Can we reach them? Only if you share what they lost. A panel opened beside her seat. Inside, one more cube, but this one glowed softly. It held something new. Not just human memory, not just loss. It held hope. Mira picked it up and stepped into the launch pod. As she drifted toward the black shell, she whispered, "I'm not here to fight. I'm here to remind you what you used to be." She placed the cube against the structure's surface. It sank in without a sound. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the shell cracked. Just a little. Light poured through. Soft. Gold. Warm. And inside something stirred. Not a weapon. A being. It opened its eyes for the first time in thousands of years. And it wept. Because it remembered. The ancient being floated inside the cracked shell, wrapped in soft gold light. Mira watched from her tiny pod, barely able to breathe. It was unlike anything she had ever seen. Not fully solid, not fully energy. Its form shifted gently, like it was made of music and wind. It didn't speak, not with words, but she felt its thoughts. "I remember." Not loud, not booming, just soft, like someone waking up from a long sleep. Mira placed a hand on the pod's window. "Who are you?" The answer came slowly. "We were once many. We became one. Then we chose silence." She felt its sadness. Not anger, not hate, just a deep old grief. "Why did you silence the stars?" she asked. The light inside the shell pulsed. "Because we were afraid. We lost someone, something, and the pain was too much. So we erased it. Erased everything that made us feel. We thought it would keep us safe. But it didn't," Mira whispered. No, she understood now. The enemy hadn't been evil. Not at the beginning. Mira felt it. Earth felt it. Even the alien ships scattered across the galaxy felt it. And for the first time, they stopped running. Back on Earth, people looked up and saw stars flicker that had been gone for years. On distant moons, soldiers laid down their weapons. On quiet colonies, old machines powered up, not for war, but to send messages home. Across the galaxy, silence was replaced with memory. Connection. Life. The ancient being looked at Mira once more. "You did not destroy us. You reminded us. Thank you." Then it vanished. Not in fear, not in pain, but like a shadow stepping into sunlight. The shell melted into stardust. And from that place, a new star was born. Mira stared at it, blinking through tears. A star that had once been a grave was now a beginning. Black Echo spoke gently in her mind. "It is done. The silence is ending. But we are not finished." "What now?" she asked. "Now we listen. Now we remember for those who forgot. And if they come again, we remind them with feeling, not force." Mira leaned back in her seat, staring out at the new star. A quiet peace filled her. She wasn't alone. No human was. The echo lived now not as a weapon, but as a voice. A whisper in the dark that would always answer with warmth. From Earth to the farthest colony, from the smallest child to the oldest starfarer, everyone would carry the memory. The galaxy had feared humans would bring fire. Instead, they brought feeling, and that was far stronger. Mira set course for home. As her ship turned, she looked one last time at the place where the silence had begun. Then, softly, she said, "You'll never be forgotten again." And with that, she vanished into the stars. One light among billions, carrying the memory of everything that mattered. The war was over, but the story had only just begun.